Okay, now this is the second program, the arrays program. I think you also have this program also in your notes. So I just wanted to explain how you are going to perform with the arrays program also, how to dry run the arrays program. So here what we are doing, here we are taking hash include iostream.h. What is iostream.h? As we already know, it contains a cin and cout code which will be used when you are compiling the program. Okay, then you are using const int max is equal to 5. So when max is equal to 5 is declared, automatically the array value, that is whatever array you are declaring, it will be with the maximum size of 5. But when you are taking it with the memory location, what is happening? The memory location contains 5 elements inside it, and those 5 elements will be put in this particular manner. Okay, so when these 5 elements are present, the 5 elements will be stored, and the array declaration or array memory location will be present in this particular format: 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so when you declare an array, it will be in this format. The array maximum size is 5, which will be considered n minus 1 because it starts from 0 and ends with n minus 1. So always an array starts from 0th position and ends with n minus 1th position, that is 4. Since it is 5 minus 1, so it will be 4 here. Okay, so here when you enter into the program, we are declaring a class. In the class, you are declaring the data members in the private, that is int array of max. Then in the public, you are declaring the member functions of that particular class, wherein you are taking insert, delete, display, search and reverse functions with their parameters that you have to pass into that particular functions. Okay, so here as you all know, the class ends here, and as you all know, first automatically you will start off with the main function. Okay, so whenever you execute a program, the first thing that starts off with the main function. So here is the main function now. In the main function, we are creating an object for the class. So what will happen when you create an object for the class? The object will initialize that particular data members and the member functions that are present inside the class with the memory that they require. So what is the memory that they require? They require a memory array of 5 here. Okay, so 5 elements are to be placed inside the memory location. So this memory location gets created when you create an object for that particular class. Okay, so this particular object will be used for creating the memory location. After that, what we are doing, a dot insert. So here what we are doing, we are trying to insert an element called 11 at the position called 1. Now when you see the program function prototype here, you have void insert int position comma int number. Now here first one is the position and second one is the number. I want to insert a particular number at the given position only. So here what I am doing, I am taking the first position, then I am placing 11 inside that particular position. So what we want here, we want to insert a particular position with a particular number. So position is 1 and number is 11. So we have called the insert function. So when the insert function is called, what is happening? You will enter into the insert function. So here is the insert function now. We'll see how to insert the element. Now here in insert function, what we are doing, void array scope resolution operator insert int position and int number. Now what is the position here? 1. What is number here? 11. So these are the parameters that you are passing into the insert function. Now when you enter into the array of insert function, for int I is equal to max minus 1. So what is the max value here? Max value is 5. So 5 minus 1 is 4. Okay, so I greater than or equal to position. What is position here? 1. Because the position, whatever you are passing as a parameter, the same value will be considered here. Okay, so what is a for loop is? For loop, it will initialize, check the condition, execute the statement next, then try to increment or decrement the value. So always initialize the I value, check the condition, execute the statements, increment the I value, then again go for the initialization of the new I value. So this goes on, this iteration goes on, and unless and until this condition goes false, the iteration goes on executing. Okay, so here what we are doing now, first is 5 minus 1 is 4. So initial value is 4 here. we have to check whether 4 is greater than or equal to the position that we have given or not. So always I value is 4 greater than or equal to position. What is position here? 1. So this condition is true. So when the condition is true, you will enter into the next statement. What I am doing here, array of I is equal to array of I minus 1. Means we have to decrement the values. Why? Because here when you see the location here, when array of I first initially your cursor will be positioned here. Okay, because the array is created completely and the cursor will be positioned in the last element. So you have to come back to the first element, that is the 0th position, and start entering the values in each and every position. Okay, so that is the reason you have to decrement the value of I as and when the next iteration goes on. Okay, so I am initializing array of I is equal to array of I minus 1. So each and every time the iteration goes on, the position will be the same. I value will get decreased. Okay, so what is happening here? We are decrementing the value of I. So what will happen? In the first iteration, 4 greater than is equal to 1. Next iteration, when I value gets decreased from 4, it will be 3. Next iteration, it will be 2. Next iteration, it will be 1. Next iteration, it will be 0. So when it comes to 1 greater than or equal to 1, the condition becomes true. But when it comes to 0 greater than or equal to 1, the condition goes false. So immediately when the condition goes false here, it enters into this particular statement, because the condition is false and it will not execute the statement. It enters into the next statement, array of I. So what is array of I here? Array of I is equal to number. What is the number we have given here? It is 11. So array of I is the number, that is 11. So here we are in the end of the insert function. So we will again return back to the main function from where we have called the function. So here is the main function wherein we have called 1, 11. So where these elements get stored? Now look into this memory location. So here these are the memory locations. Don't get confused with this. These are the memory locations and these are the positions that you are giving for inserting the values. So the position is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So what is happening? In the first, when array of 0 is equal to whatever position you want, that position, that is first position. So you will insert 11 here, then 22, then 33, then 44, then 55. Because we are using 5 insert functions, we are calling 5 insert functions for inserting the values in this particular positions. This is the position in which you are entering and this is the element that you have to enter. So each and every time you call this function, the value of I goes on decreasing. So here what will happen? The value of I will become 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0. The value of I, when we decrement it, it will decrement. Okay, so as and when the element first time when it comes to array of 0, array of I will be 0, because when you decrement the values, automatically it reaches to 0. So once the condition goes wrong, you will enter into array of 0 here. So array of 0 here will be the number, that is 11, that you have to insert. Next, it will be array of 1, which will be 22. Next, array of 2, 33. Like this, you will go on inserting the values and all the values will be inserted into the memory location of the array. Okay, so this is how the insertion will be performed. So here what is happening? You have to check with the position of what position you are using, then the number that you have to insert into the array. Next is you will be using the delete function. So when you enter into the main function, you are seeing here, cout element of array. Whatever elements of array are there, you have to display those elements. So here I am using a display function. So what should the display function do? Void array scope resolution operator display. So you have to display whatever values are present inside the array. So before that, you have to use the endline statement wherein the current cursor position will be stopped at that particular point and you will have a new line wherein the array elements will be printed. Okay, so what you are doing here for int I is equal to 0, I less than max, I plus plus. What is I value here? So I value will be 0. Then I is less than max. 0 is less than, what is max value? 5. I plus plus, increment the I value. So here what is happening? Array of I should be printed. So what is array of I now? Array of 0. Okay, now since 0 is less than 5, the condition is true. So you are printing the next line immediately, that is after the for loop. So what is happening? Array of 0 is equal to 11. Then increment I value. What is I now? It is 1. So array is initialized with 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So like this you will have array of 1, array of 2, then array of 3, then array of 4, and you have the values 22, 33, 44 and 55. Okay, so each and every time you increment, the value of I will change and it will go to the next position. So like this, when you display the elements, all the elements present at array of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 will be displayed with 11, 22, 33, 44 and 55. Okay, and don't get confused. Once again, I am saying position is different and memory location is different. Position is the position number that you are giving by your own. Memory location is the memory location that is given when you give when you allocate the memory to that particular array. Okay, so coming back to the main function again, now we have displayed the elements of the array. After the display function is used, we are using a.del. What is del here? Delete function. So when you want the deletion to be performed, you are calling the delete function. So when you call the delete function, automatically you will move to the compiler will shift to the delete function. So what you are deleting here? 5. And what is 5 here? They are not the elements, they are the positions. Okay, now if you see the prototype of the function here, you are saying void delete int position. So you are passing the position, not the element, right? So when you see the delete function here, now here is a delete function, void array scope resolution operator delete int position. What is position here now? What position element you want to delete? You want to delete 5th position element. So you are passing 5 as the position to this particular element. So 5 is passed as a parameter to the position. Now here enter into the delete function for int I is equal to position, I less than max, I plus plus. So what here I am doing? I is equal to position. What is position here? 5. I less than max. Is 5 less than max? No, 5 is not less than max. So this condition goes false. When the condition goes false, what will happen? It will enter into the next position, next statement. This statement will not get executed because the condition is false. So it will execute the next statement after that statement. That is array of I minus 1 is equal to 0. I value is 5 here. So 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 is initialized with 0. That means array of 4 is equal to 0. Now here what is array of 4 here? Array of 4 is 55. The position that we have passed as a parameter is 5. So 55 should get deleted. But what we are doing here in the delete function, we are initializing that particular position with 0. So instead of removing that particular element, you are positioning 0 at that particular place. So what will happen after this? You will again return to the main function. Now when you return to the main function, again what happens? You have another delete function here. A.delete 2. So now this time the position that you are passing is 2. So here what is happening? Now here see, for int I is equal to position, that means you are changing the position to 2. I less than max, I plus plus. Now if this condition goes true, it will increment the value. If the condition goes false, it will never enter into the incrementation. Okay, the iteration will be stopped because you are not using any loop here. We are just using one statement after the for loop, right? So here I is equal to 2. So 2 is less than 5. So this condition is true. What will happen? It will enter into this particular statement. What I am doing here in the statement, array of I minus 1 is equal to array of I. What is I value here? It is I minus 1. It is 2. 2 minus 1 is equal to array of I. Now what is 2 minus 1? It is 1. So 1 is being initialized with array of I. So what is 1 here? It is 22. So array of 1 is 22 and the position that you have passed is 2. So what will happen here? Again you are initializing that array of I minus 1 is equal to 0. So instead of deleting the complete element here, we are positioning 0 at this particular position. Okay, so what will be the new array now? Now before I tell you what will be the new array, let us see the main function. Now here in the main function, cout, after deletion, the new array will be a dot display. When you call the display function, you are going to see the display function here. Okay, what is happening? Int I is equal to 0, I less than max, I plus plus. Now, the same procedure will be followed whatever you have performed for the insertion, because there will be no change in display function. Whatever elements are present in the array, that will be displayed. Oh, okay. So here what will be the new array that will be displayed? You will have an array with 5 elements. Array of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, elements will be 11, 33 will be same, 44 will be same. So after the delete function, 22 will be replaced with 0 here, 55 will be replaced with 0 here. Okay, so we have deleted the elements of position 5 and position 2, isn't it? So at that particular positions, we have initialized it with zeros. So that is the only change that you can see when you use the delete function. Now coming back to the main function again. So after the main function, what is happening? We have displayed the new elements. Now I am trying to add 2 more elements using the insert function. So the same way you have performed with the insert function. Go for the in I is equal to max minus 1. Check the condition I greater than is equal to position. Then I minus minus. The same procedure will be followed again 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Then wherever the elements are to be inserted, the elements will be inserted at that particular position, because we are giving the positions also. So directly it will move to that particular 2 position and 5 position and insert that values. Now after the values are inserted, what I am doing here? I am using the display function. After the elements are inserted, you are using the display function here again. So what is happening? A new array will be displayed wherein you will have the newly inserted elements here. So you can see the new array here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the memory locations, and you have the positions of the array with 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So what are the elements now? 11 will be as it is. Here you have 222, here you have 33, you have 44 here, and you have 555. Okay, so these are the new elements that have been inserted after you deleted 2 elements from the array. Okay, now next. Now after the deletion has been performed, you have displayed the elements after the new insertion also. Then you will call the reverse function, a dot reverse. So here in the reverse function, what is happening? You are trying to reverse the elements and print the reversed elements. Now here, as I have already told you, the elements will not get reversed, but the positions will be reversed. So what is happening here? For int I is equal to 0, I less than max by 2, I plus plus. So what is I value? I value is 0 here. Max is 5. So 5 by 2. I plus plus. So before this, first you have to check whether I value 0 is less than 5 by 2 or not. It is 5 by 2 means you can't take this decimals. So you will just either take 3 values in the first iteration or 2 values in the first iteration. Okay. So whatever the system feels like, it will take either 3 or 2. So here we are using the swapping concept where int temp is equal to array of I. What is I value here? 0. So whatever element is present in I, array of I is initialized with the temporary variable. Then 0 is equal to I max minus 1 minus I. Max, what is max value here now? It is 5. 5 minus 1 minus I. So it will be 4 minus I. What is I value here? 4 minus 0. So what is 4 minus 0? It will be 4. That means you have reached to the last position, last array position. So that element you are trying to initialize it with the temporary variable. So this iteration again goes on until and unless this condition goes false. When you reach 4 less than 5 by 2, wherein the condition goes false, and the values will be placed with the temporary variable. Whatever values are present in the temporary variable, those values will be reversed and the elements will be declared here. So what is happening here? You are, after the reversing, you are displaying the values of the elements, wherein the positions will be as it is, but the elements will be as it is, but the positions will be changed because you have swapped. And how it will be performed? You will have 33, 222 and 11, and you have 555 and 44. That means 3 elements swapped with the first iteration and 2 elements will be swapped with the second iteration. Okay, so after this you are displaying the elements of the new reversed values. Then you will go with the search. Search element 222. Now where is element 222 present? Now you are not going to take the deleted and the reversed elements. You will go with the new array. So here in the new array, what is there? 222 is present at second position. So you have to print either the memory location or the position of that particular element. So what you are doing here, you will enter into the search function int I is equal to 0, I less than max, I plus plus. What is I here? I value is 0. So 0 less than 5. Is it true? Yes, because 0 is less than 5. If array of I is equal to number, whatever number you have given, what is array of I? If array of I is equal to number, that is, if array of 0 is equal to number whatever you have passed, that is 555. If array of 0 is equal to number, that is 555, then print the element or a number is present at I plus 1th position. Okay, so whatever element is present at I plus 1th position, that particular position you have to print and you have to return from that particular function. If that is not happening, okay, so when that particular position is being reached, you will print the position and the memory location of that particular element and return to the main function. If suppose this is not the case, that is if the condition is not true, that is if array of I is not equal to number, then you will enter into the if statement. If I is equal to max, that means if 0 is equal to max, that is if I value is 5 and max value is 5, then the condition goes wrong. Okay, so here what is happening? If the condition is false, then you will print the element is not present at that particular array, in that particular array. Okay, then you will enter into the main function again. You will end off with the main function. So here what is happening? Each and every time you have to check this condition. Array of I is equal to number. Whatever number you are printing here, it should be equal. And this condition should get satisfied. If this condition is not satisfied, you will go on incrementing the I value until and unless the condition gets satisfied. Then if this I value is less than max becomes true, and if the array of I is equal to number, if it finds the position of that particular number with this number that you have to search, then it will print the position. So here in the main function, what we are doing? We are displaying the function. So we are displaying the element, whatever 555 number is present at that position. What is the present position of 555 here? So it is array of 4. So array of 4 will be the position, and the position of real position is 5. So that you are printing here. And next thing is, the second thing you are using is 666. So do you think 666 is existing? It will go to the search function, to the called function. It will try to search the element. Now here in the array, if you see, you have not entered or inserted 666 here. So that number is not there. Now since there are only 5 elements here, you can recognize whether the element is existing or not. But if there are more number of elements, it is not possible for you to understand whether the number is present or not, because you can't remember so many numbers. So what you will do, you will enter into the search function, search the condition, search whether if the number and the array of element is equal or not. If it is equal, you will print. Otherwise, you will just print the number is not present. Now, for example, what is the element you have to search? The element that you have to search is 666 here. Now, int 666. Now, what is number here? Int I is equal to 0, I less than max, I plus plus. So, I value will go on changing from 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. But so many values, even the array values have changed from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 also. You can't find this particular number because 666 is not at all existing in any of the locations of the array. So you will enter into this particular if statement. If I is equal to max, then you will print the if 4 I value should be 4 and 4 is equal to max. That means what is max value here? It should be 5. If this value is reached, then you will say the element is not present in that particular array. Clear? So this is how you will get into the dry running of the program. Now try to dry run the program by yourself. Take these examples. This is the way you have to work out on the arrays mark. Okay, take the values separately for all the variables whatever are given. Take the values parameters that you are passing through the function to the called function and to the calling function. Then you have to execute the program and see what actually is happening. If this is performed, you will understand the program, and also you will see that you will understand the logic what you are doing and what is the next step after the step. Okay, so try out on this, work out on these two videos. The previous program is very easy, you will understand it very easily. Then try to understand this also. Maybe you will not be comfortable with the reverse program only, reverse function only. If you are not comfortable with the reverse function, you can just leave it off, because the only important thing is you should know how to insert an element, you should know how to delete an element, and you should know how to display the element. Okay, reverse and search is, since it is just operations that you have to perform on the arrays, we have seen the program. But even if you don't understand that also, don't panic much, but see that you should understand how to insert and delete the elements, because those are the two operations that you have been performing in the stacks and the queues. So understand the programs, try to dry run these two programs, and if you have any doubts, you can WhatsApp me in the group, or tomorrow's class I will have the class either at 11 or 11:30. I'll just put the link. I'll decide the time and put the link according to my convenience. So by that time, if you have any doubts, you can just clarify the doubts tomorrow in the class also. Okay, but only thing is, first understand these two things, how to dry run the programs, then get into the stacks and the queues programs and try to dry run those programs and also see that. Okay, so if you perform these steps, you will understand the program easily, and even you will not forget the program. Okay, so try to do this. See, first time it's not possible for you to understand. If you don't understand it in the first attempt itself, don't feel something like we are not able to understand or we are not able to do it. Try for the second time. If you are not following, then also try for the third time. Only thing is your time gets wasted and your papers get wasted. Nothing more than that, isn't it? Only thing is you should understand how you are doing that. If you understand this, you will understand the programs easily. And tomorrow I'll be taking DQ. So before the actual start of the class, you can clarify all your doubts. Then we will enter into the DQ's concept. Okay. So that's all for now. Try to understand the programs.